Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky Setre. I hope you're doing well. As you already know, I'm a nurse in the UK and I do nursing videos, and today I'm going to be talking about pros and cons of changing jobs as a nurse in the UK, for that matter anywhere in the world, and not only nursing, any other job actually. So since I've been in the UK, I have just started, or I am 3 months into my 7th job over almost 20 years. So if you want to know about the pros and cons of changing jobs as a nurse or any other worker, then why not watch the video to the end? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky Setre. I'm a registered nurse in the UK and I've been practicing for a long time, and I give tips and advice as to how to settle as a nurse when you come to the UK, or as a carer or senior carer, or anyone who has migrated to come and work in the UK on tier 2 or skilled worker visa. I give all the tips and advice that you will get when you arrive in the UK. If that sounds good to you, why not subscribe so that when I post any new video you get notified. So as I said in the introduction, today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of changing jobs as a nurse, because I'm a nurse, so I can talk more about nursing, but it might be applicable to, whatever you're doing as well. So now, there are pros and cons to everything we do in life. And somebody would be saying or asking, is it a good idea to be changing jobs? Yet there is no right or wrong to doing whatever you're doing, so far as that is what you want, so far as you're happy with your decision. I think that is the main thing. So there are several reasons why people may decide to move job or change job. So I made my list. So all these is based on my own personal experience. As I said in the introduction, I have just taken my 7th job in almost 20 years of working in the UK in the NHS, and I'm very proud to be working as a nurse in the NHS. Anyway, so let's start on the reasons why somebody would decide to change jobs. So one of them could be about the fact that the person is bored with what they are currently doing, so they want something new. Some people do have what we call itchy feet. So they start working somewhere and they feel, I think I need to move. They haven't got any reasons. They just want to have a change. So the next one is possibly for better opportunity. So somebody has seen a job which would give them a better opportunity, so they want to apply for it. Another one would be due to promotion. So you could be working as band 5 and you've seen a band 6 job as a nurse and you want to apply for it. That is a promotion. So that is one of the reasons somebody would decide to move a job or change jobs. Another one could be due to bad management. You might be working somewhere and your manager is horrible and you just feel, you know what, I'm stressing, I'm not happy, and the best thing is to move away. Otherwise you get sick and you will never be happy in that job. So the best option would be to leave if the situation cannot be remedied. Another one would be toxic work environment. Sometimes you find yourself in a job where the work environment is very toxic. You go into work and you're having palpitation, you are not happy, you are even stressing before you get to work. And the question is that good for your health? If you feel, that is making you ill and you're feeling that way, the best thing would be to move. That is my personal option, and that is what I will do if I'm working at a place and it's putting my health at risk and I'm not able to get the situation sorted. For me, I will move. It's up to you, but you have to put your health first as well. Another one could be career development. So maybe you just want a career development. Wherever you move, you learn something from that department and it will take with you to the next one. So for career development, some people they want to just expand their knowledge and skills. So I have done that. Some of the jobs I moved, I went there, I wanted to develop my skills, and I did that as well. Some people can move from a job due to poor working hours, so they want good hours and they found what they want somewhere else, so they decide to move. Some would move because of poor salary. If your salary is not good and you get a better salary job somewhere, why not? You can always move. Some people move because of too much stress. As for stress, I would say if you're working in the UK, for that matter, any developed countries, most often, not every, but most developed countries, there are stresses everywhere, regardless whether you're a nurse, you're a doctor, you are a psychologist or social worker, any field you find yourself in, there is some aspect of stress. And I would say the health sector is extremely stressful if you're working, especially I would say in the NHS. I've never felt stressed like that in my life. When I started working back home in Ghana, I got here and I realized even from the start, no, but I think as you move up in the career ladder as well, you realize that it can be really stressful, but oh well. So some people feel the stress is a bit too much and they want to move somewhere else, so they decide to move away and find something else. It doesn't mean when you move it's not going to be stressful, but maybe it might be less than what you're going through at the moment. Another reason somebody would move would be poor work-life balance. So maybe the hours they have is not suiting their lifestyle, and maybe childcare and things like that. So they decide that, you know what, I need something else that will suit my work and life balance, and they move. Others, due to relocation, they just are not happy with where they are currently living, or the city or the town, and they want to move out of that place. You never know what you're going to meet at the other place, but you know, they want to change that scenery or environment. Some people, it could be due to changing family situation. Maybe you're married and your husband has got a job somewhere, a better job than maybe he's gone out, and he has to move, so you have to move as well. So that could be a reason. Another one would be just wanting a change. So in my experience, I would briefly talk about my experience. So when I came from Ghana and I started in a nursing home in London for a short period, and I got a hospital job because I felt nursing home, I wasn't very familiar with that because I wasn't trained in that sector when I was back home. So I wanted to carry on with the hospital jobs. So I found a hospital job and I applied, and I moved to Leicester, and I've been here since I came from London in July 2003. Anyway, so I was given renal ward to do my adaptation. After that, I think I did almost about 2 years there, and I moved to surgery because I wanted some experience in surgery, and I worked in surgery for a while, about 3 years, and I thought, okay, I need something new, and I went to outpatients. I stayed in outpatients for 6 months, and I found a job band 6 at the time because I was a D grade, which is now band 5. So I decided to go for it. So I applied for the specialist nursing role 2009 as a band 6. I worked and I progressed to band 7 2012, and after working there between 2009 till 2016, I needed a change. So I moved to epilepsy, and I did epilepsy for about 18 months, and I moved back to specialist nurse. But at the time, I took a leadership role as a lead nurse for sickle cell service, and I did that for 4 years. And then due to some experiences I've had, I wasn't happy, I was becoming ill and all that, I decided that it's time to move. So I took a specialist nursing role as a headache nurse specialist, and as I said, I'm only 3 months into that job, so I can't tell you much yet. I'm going to give you an update at some point about how I'm getting on with this role very shortly, so don't worry. Anyway, so it's the same band 7. I've been band 7 almost, October would be 10 years since I've been band 7. You'll be wondering, why are you still band 7? Anyway, that is a long story. Anyway, so let's carry on. So each time I moved, I learned something new, and I take that with me. So if you move, you will never regret it. You might regret it, but sometimes you end up learning a lot, and you take that with you wherever you go. Now let's talk about the pros and cons. It took me a long time to get to the pros and cons, but I believe you would have enjoyed the first part of the video as well. So the pros and cons. So one of the pros is the fact that if you're leaving your job because of higher salary and that is what you've got, why not? You will get that. So that's fine if that's your reason for moving. And then another one is career progression. So if you've applied for a band 6 from band 5 and you get the job, you will get that career progression. Expanding your knowledge and skills, regardless of whatever the reason you're moving. If it's a different department, you will definitely get some career, new skills, and you would upgrade your knowledge and skills when you move. And whatever you learn, you take that with you. You would enrich your CV. Some people will say, oh, if you're moving too many times, other employers would think that you don't stay at one place, so they might not give you the job. Yes, it has its own advantages and disadvantages, and it depends on how you sell yourself. It depends on what you say is your reason for moving, and it depends on how you frame that movement or change that you've done in your career, on your life. You are doing it because you are gaining experience, and that experience is going to be valuable in wherever you go. So, it's how you sell yourself on your CV as well as in your next job application. Another one is due to happier. If you're leaving a job because you were not happy in your previous environment due to toxic work environment, you get it, you move somewhere, at least it will take some time for you to find out how that place is. It's usually good to visit a place and say hi to people before you start the job, but that visit alone will not tell you everything about the place, but it will help you to gauge the environment anyway. So if you've left a place due to toxic work environment or bad manager or difficult manager, you might get a better one where you go in, but the grass is not always green wherever you go. It might be, but not always. Another one is ability to follow your passion. If you are someone who like, let's say, palliative care, or you like any other different specialty and you've applied and you've got that, it means you're going to be enjoying it and you're going to be following your passion, and that is a positive or a pro for moving a job. Another one could be improved work-life balance. If you're moving because you want to have improved work-life balance and you've got it, that is what you want, why not? So you might get that as well. And working with new team. So working with a new team, let's say you've left your job because of toxic work environment again. Starting with a new team, you're all excited, you meet new people. It might be good, it might not be as you expect as well. As I said, there are pros and cons to everything. So let's look at the disadvantages or the cons of moving a job. You have to be prepared when you're moving to start all over again. So for me as an individual, I said I've moved several times. There are times you meet people who would help you, hold your hand and help you to develop into your new role. There are times you move and you find yourself here on your own. So for example, leaving and starting this new job, I was a lead nurse. As I said, I was managing some groups of staff, and I've got the knowledge in what I used to do because I've done it for quite a long time. And here you are, you have doctors emailing you, can you see this patient for me? You have GPs referring patients to you. You have your colleagues asking you, oh, Rebecca, what do I do? I'm Becky on YouTube. I'm Rebecca. Anyway, so it's the same anyway. So somebody would say, oh, they will come to you and say, oh, Rebecca, what do I do? This and that and that. And you were the one advising. Now I moved and I find myself in a situation where you are the nurse, you're the new nurse, it's a new role, so there's no one to hold your hand and show you what to do. Yes, I've got my consultant who is very supportive and very, good in her job, and she teaches me a lot. So it's good to learn from the top person. But at the same time, as nurses, we work in a different way. And sometimes there are certain things you would want to learn from a nurse, but you haven't. So you have to learn things quick yourself. So you must be ready to start. So I was here and now I'm starting again from here. I don't know what the future holds in this new job, but I would take each day at a time and I'll see how it goes. So far, so good, I would say. So we'll see. Anyway, so let's carry on. And the next thing you have to be aware of is you may like it and you may not like it. So you may move a job and you think, you know what? I'm so happy I've gone for this job, But you might move after 3 months, 6 months, and you start asking yourself, oh my God, what have I done? I should have stayed where I was. So you would go through this kind of emotions, but sometimes you just have to give yourself some time and you would see. Another one is about the work environment might not be what you envisaged it to be. You might be living somewhere because you feel, you're not enjoying it or you're having issues with other staff or management. And you might go there and you realize, okay, this is actually worse than I thought. But so far as you have patience, you give yourself time, you work through things, at some point, if you feel, it's not working out, you have to keep moving, and I will do that. And the next one is having to learn new things all over again. As I said, you could be the expert in your current role, but you have moved somewhere else and you have to be prepared to learn new skills. Sometimes you have to go and do some courses to help you to do your job as well. So it's important to bear that in mind. You may also feel insecure and anxious. So you're starting a new job, you're very anxious. Am I going to be fitting in? Am I going to be able to learn what I'm supposed to do? Am I able to fit in properly, as I said before? But you need to give yourself time and just be prepared to learn, and you would be fine. You may find the situation, as I said, worse than you expected. So you have to be prepared for anything. That is why we are talking about pros and cons. It can also be very exhausting, starting all over again, starting to learn new things and working with new people can be exhausting sometimes. You may also have to be prepared or prepare yourself in order to prove yourself in the probation period as well. You have to be prepared. You have to work hard, learn hard, and prove that, it's good they chose me as the preferred candidate. So that's another thing. And you may have regrets as well. Most of the jobs I went to, I would say I had or have no regrets moving to certain places. Even if I regretted any of the moves, I would say it wasn't bad that I went for that job, because I have learned something, and whatever I learned, I took it with me to wherever I went to, and I applied that in my day-to-day life. So now, as I said in the beginning, there is no right or wrong in changing a job. Your happiness, if that is what is paramount to you, which is what is paramount to me. I move when I get to a point where I need to move. And as I said, it's not because I wasn't happy in some of the jobs, but I just needed, I think it's only one time, which recently I moved because it was just too much for me, not the job itself, but you know, I don't want to talk much about it. As I said again, you may or you may not find what you wanted, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't stop moving. You shouldn't stop learning new things. You have to keep moving. You have to keep learning new things, and I'm sure you would be okay. So never be put off from moving. If you move and you feel, you know what, this did not work, prepare yourself, research into the next move, and then give it a go. You will learn something else. The grass is not always green on the other side. It is not always what you feel you're going to meet that you're going to be meeting, but you have to make it work. You have to work through it. You have to sit down and say, okay, what is my next strategy? If it's something you can deal with, if something you can work through with your management or your manager, why not? It's good to persevere. But anytime you're planning to move, sit down and really think about the pros and cons of why you want to move, pros and cons of what you're going to meet, and keep in mind that it might not be as you expected. It might be fantastic, you would enjoy it, and you would be there till whenever, but just bear in mind there are pros and cons to any move or change that you make in your job. I hope again that this video has been helpful to you, especially if you're planning to move jobs. If you're not, you might consider moving one day, and I believe this would be helpful to you. Anyway, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, why not do that now, so that anytime I post a new video, you will get notified. And remember to share as well. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again in a few days' time, and have a good week. Bye bye.